Hello to all the Atlanta United fans. My name is Jurgen Damm, and you are watching Scarves and Spike, an Atlanta United podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to We Only Allowed One Goal on Sunday night. Monday? Yeah, I forgot to add the Monday to it. We only allowed one goal. I think that's
progress,
show,
right? We're so back, baby.
we only allowed one goal. Nothing else happened. Roll scene. You didn't hit the music either? Okay, then we'll keep going. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Just had MLS Monday. Came from that. Had a really good chat with Todd.
Your hair looks great. I know you were checking it, but it looks great.
Thanks. No, appreciate it. But yeah, had a really nice chat with him over on MLS Monday. Had a lot of news this weekend as the Union clinched the Shield. By the way, what position did you think the Union was going to end this season before the season started?
I think I said either last or second last.
Yeah, huh? That aged well.
I mean,
best team in the regular season, bud. Despite not spending, what was it, $40 million on designated players?
Whoa.
What are you doing?
I was trying to get the chat in here, and I just...
You've made me tiny.
We've had so many issues today. If you saw on my Twitter account what we did, it was a disaster. Let's see. There we go. I think we're good now. Chat away. But Henry and I had to do everything on our own today. Sydney's in Buffalo after watching his Bills lose. Tyler is on some Disney something today. So that left it to me and you. And I asked you to create a thumbnail for this so we could put it online. And you were taking a while, so we had ChatGPT work its way through to try to make a thumbnail. And boy.
Who is that, Tommy?
That's Hibbert. I put in a picture of Hibbert thinking it was just going to use that picture. Like I brought it down. AI is not going to replace us, like you said.
Wow. Yeah, don't worry, guys. Skynet's not happening anytime soon. So yeah, we're good on that front. Should we talk about Atlanta United?
Well, I think people want to talk about Jim Curtin here.
Let's talk about Jim Curtin. I would not say he's crap. I also wouldn't say he was holding them back. He did get them to a Supporters' Shield in 2020, MLS Cup final in 2022. Would have probably won that final if it wasn't for one freaking Gareth Bale at the end of the game, literally last minute. If it wasn't for that game would not have gone to penalties.
I think less than a minute.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the final seconds of that game, but it was super dramatic. So they got very, very unlucky not to win MLS Cup there. And they've just been overall competitive over the last decade, just up in the upper echelon of MLS teams. And, last season was just a weird year for them. I don't know, as far as Jim Curtin just kind of making things a little different, because I feel like that Union of 2024 played fundamentally different than the Union of years past, which makes no sense, because if it works, why are you trying to fix it? But yeah, I would not call Curtin a bad manager, but that was certainly not a great send-off for him last season, and he still hasn't gotten a job, and who knows if he's going to go back to coaching.
Does he have the personality to be in the media?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So what else is this guy going to do? He's going to come back.
I don't think he's going to be on MLS season pass, if that's what you're asking.
Well, I mean, you usually see that with a lot of NFL coaches as well. Sometimes they'll take a year off just to see what else is out there, see if anything comes out more attractive, see if a team gets desperate in the middle of the season, like a team that spends a lot of money in the off season and then is a wooden spoon person by halfway through the season. I'm curious what happens of him, but this isn't a Jim Curtin show here, but still, no. We got to get to LA. We got to go to the West Coast here to talk about that. Did you ever think, so it was 0-0 going very late into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think there was a chance going into this game that it would be 0-0? And
No.
was it 10 minutes?
I thought that LAFC was going to score in the first 15 minutes and it was going to be a bloodbath. I was pleasantly surprised that Atlanta actually managed to hold on very well in this game. I didn't expect them to be as effective defensively, but I'd said it multiple times before the game. Atlanta needed to approach this game not in the way that they usually try to approach games, where they try a very possession-based style of soccer, of trying to really build up and play the game that way. That spells disaster against LAFC because they are a team that thrives on the counterattack. They will kill you in transition. They have so much pace up top with Bouanga and Son. And if Atlanta went into this game with a high line and attempting to play that possession style, they were going to get their butts kicked. And they didn't. They actually, whether intentionally or unintentionally, ended up giving LAFC the ball a lot in this game. And that actually worked to their favor because it forced them to have to break Atlanta down the hard way. And they set up in that back five with a very narrow space between that and the midfield line. And it caused them a lot of issues. And it worked very, very well up until Pedro Amador decided that he was going to check out in the 86th minute and not cover one of the league's leading goal scorers. And then he gets an open volley like yards away from goal. So it's unfortunate that it ended that way. I think Atlanta probably deserved to get that 0-0 draw. They were very, very close to getting it. But yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
And the comment in here, did you ever think Atlanta might win? As it approached the 90th minute, or I'm sorry, the 80th minute, I was like, something weird could happen. Anything could happen. And it almost did earlier. Was it Sleesh's shot that got deflected?
Sleesh got two shots. One of them was straight at the goalkeeper. The other one hit the post. And it was very, very, very close. So maybe on one of those efforts, like around the 70th, 70th minute, I was like, okay, they've survived this long. Maybe they get a lucky goal off like a set piece or something like that. That's a possibility, but I don't know. I told you guys, we were in the watch along channel on our Discord. Quick plug for the Discord, by the way. If you're not in there, be sure to join our Patreon. $1.17 a month gets you access to a ton of exclusive stuff, including our Discord, where you can join us for watch alongs during the games, talk about this team, talk about other teams that are much better, and other random crap. But I said in the watch along, when I saw that Ronnie Dyla was taking Stian Gregerson off, and that was around the 70th minute, I said that makes no sense, the substitution. I said that is going to cost them the game, because for that entire match, that back three was working very, very well. And Stian Gregerson was putting out a lot of fires for you on defense. And you take him out 12 minutes before the game ends and change the formation, fundamentally change the formation. It makes no sense to me when you're this close to edging out a result, which again means nothing, the result, but it would have still been at least a morale booster for Atlanta to shut down this attack. And at the end, one very careless mistake, which I think was partially led on by that substitution, costs you a draw against a very, very difficult LAFC side. So yeah, I thought at one point I did think that they were going to win, but then at that Gregerson substitution, I said, this is how they lose this game.
Yeah. Look, I understand that he's got some maybe not limitations is the word, but you're a little bit scared of what could possibly be another injury to him coming in anytime, unfortunately. And that won't happen. You can't change my mind, or probably a lot of people's minds, until he can go into a large part of next season and not be injured. And look, Ezekiel Barco was someone very similar to that, where he had the knock that just would not unknock years ago. You had it with, we've had so many people coming in and out.
Yakamakis.
Who had the sickness? He had the sickness there.
Sickness for the thickness.
No.
All right, let's end the show.
I've never heard that before. Oh my gosh, who
No, I know who you're talking about, but at the same time,
he missed a lot of time, and then we ended up moving on from Sosa. Thank you, Omar. Sosa. Like, he was a guy that had injury, sickness, and then he's gone. And then played pretty well, I think, after he left Atlanta, because of course
he's apparently been playing very well down in Argentina. So maybe we made a mistake there. I don't know.
We make a lot of those here. But that's just something that you can't really get over, because I mean, a lot of these guys, the injury prone tag can go to some players, and then they leave a team, and then they never get injured again, which is crazy. But with Stian, he has been knocking on every piece of wood that we have here. He's been able to stay healthy after that very extremely long absence from the team, and they've been playing a lot. They've been playing him a lot. And I was worried about it. I've been very critical of how much time he was playing when he originally came back, because it wasn't like at that time they were babying him. I mean, they were putting him in. We had like 5 matches in 15 days or something. And I mean, he was just nonstop starting those games, and he's held up. So the hope here is you've got 2 games left. Can he stay healthy, and can he just take the off season and continue to recover?
And can he also not get injured right before preseason and miss the whole preseason? Because that, Pedro Amador came into this past preseason with an injury, a mysterious injury that he picked up from somewhere. I don't know, rolling out of bed or something. But,
I have that injury all the time.
He missed the entirety of preseason for that reason. And obviously that puts you at a disadvantage immediately. Lennon obviously missed preseason because he was still recovering from his injury that he acquired during the playoffs. I might be missing a few others, but that's kind of, you don't want to start the season that way, especially not if Gregerson is going to be an important player in this squad going forward. So we'll see, but definitely a nice long off season of rest. That is exactly what the doctor ordered for Gregerson and for several of these players who seem to have some recurring injuries and some mystery ones that pop up. This availability report before this game kind of jump scared me with like several weird unknown injury. Like Lennon had, what was it, Achilles tendonitis or something like that.
They're not renewing my contractitis. That's also what I call it.
Nick Sesek popped up with an injury out of nowhere. Like there was a lot of weirdness, and so this will give a chance for all these players to get healthy again.
What did you think of the lineup?
Okay, my first reaction to the lineup when they posted the Twitter graphic was, "Is the social media manager drunk?" My second one was, okay, let's think about this as a rational soccer person. And seeing that they had gone to a back 3, really a back 5, made sense against LAFC. Their main threats are on the wings from Buwanga and from Son. So it makes sense that they were going to try to cover that area as well as they can, not leave too many gaps in between those spaces. Your midfield duo is pretty much set in stone at this point. I thought it was interesting that they played Alexi and Miggy as dueling 10s. I feel like you have to try whatever you can at this point. I'm not sure that it really did much of anything, but again, it's hard to tell in a game like this where LAFC is just pounding you on the attack. So I would like to. I'd be curious to see it at least in another game where Atlanta's maybe a little bit more evenly matched. But yeah, I don't really think it from the midfield forward, it really didn't make a whole lot of difference in this game. But that back line and Alzate and Slish kind of helping to close the gaps in between, I think that worked very, very well for this team.
And you look at what LA has done since Sun has come on. I think this is the least amount of goals that has been that they've scored since he's come on. I mean, you look at the month of September, 4 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals. Now, they should have had a second goal at the end of that game. I don't know how that didn't go in. I mean, that was there, but I mean, against San Diego, and I don't even know if Sun scored. He did. So in the month since August, they have scored at least 3 goals in every game. Teams are going to watch this game and say, we need to copycat this. We need to do exactly what they did, but they probably have a better countering. You know, they're going to be able to counter with some better players and maybe some better coaching here to be able to turn some of this into goals. Because if we had an idea of what we were doing, I think we yelled a couple times where there was like a pass where we thought they passed it to the right and there was literally nobody on the TV screen. We're like, is there an invisible man coming out here? I mean, it was a huge scoring chance for him and just took it all the way to the right. We were waiting for someone to get in frame.
Man, some of the decision making, it blows my mind. But yeah, like you said, there's just a lot of this team just being slow to get forward. And that's the thing. If you're going to play counterattacking soccer, you have to be fast, because the whole point of a counterattack is to hit the other team hard and fast before they can get everyone back. Problem is, this Atlanta
you gotta
side.
Stop. You got to stop.
What?
I gotta stop you.
Why?
Say it again.
The whole point of a counterattacking team is to hit them hard and fast.
I know you were saying pounding earlier.
Wow, shut up.
For the thickness. I've
never
heard that until now. This is all over. You. Look, I get blamed for. I get in trouble. Okay, when I'm on this show and I say these things, I get the look of disgust, and now you got to get it. You have the walk of shame today, sir. All right, continue.
Well, I just lost my train of thought, so thanks for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, basically, if you're going to play a counterattack, you have to be quick. You have to have fast players. You have to strike fast. If you don't, there goes your counterattack. So that's what happened in this game. And in other games, it's happened where this team just doesn't get forward fast enough. They're too slow. Not nearly enough players get into the box to make these counterattacks matter. So at the end of the day, it's all kind of for nothing. And you wasted time. You wasted your time. You wasted the fans' time, all the effort and everything that went into trying to stay awake and watch this game.
You do got to give this team credit, though, overall, because, I mean, traveling from the east to the west, never an easy thing when you see that happen. And I know we talked about it earlier, but like that is definitely something that is difficult for this team. But they came out ready. Look what happened when San Diego came from the West Coast to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where, yeah, they came out great in that first half. The second half, they were not a team. They looked like the jet lag hit them. And I was wondering if that was going to happen to Atlanta in the second half, because, yeah, they held up and they were not allowing as many scoring chances. But the question was, would they be able to then keep it going for that second half? And they did until the very end. When that goal finally happened, they were able to do that. And we do have to give them props for that. So that's when I was naming this, I was like, I don't know if I put in here that they held LAFC to 1 goal. Do we get a trophy for that?
Hang the banner.
I mean, there's got to be something here. I mean, we talk about so many negative things here. And look, I understand still losing the game is nothing to be excited about. But we've said here since the summer, this was a defensive window here. And we need to be able to see them do this. Now, they've had some moments where it's been really good. Nashville last night. Then we had some real bad ones. Columbus. Let's see what happens. Let's see what if they can. You got a messy list.
The Paul
Miami
list,
coming,
Miami,
right?
Yeah,
Quite a few people in here. Can they continue that and continue to annoy Miami and potentially stop them? I haven't looked at the standings, but potentially stop them from having a top 4 spot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This, if you guys aren't aware, this week is an international break, so a lot of teams are going to be missing some key players. Miami is obviously going to be missing the key player, and DePaul. Atlanta's going to be missing a few guys too, though. Among those, Miguel Almiron, unfortunately. So here's the full list that I have right now of who's been called up from Atlanta United for this window. Miguel Almiron, Luke Brennan, who is with the U20s at the U20 World Cup in Chile, Ronald Hernandez, Sabo Lobjanidze, Enea Mihai, Alexei Moranchuk, and Bartosz Slisz. So you are missing quite a few starters against Miami. Who, to be fair, Miami is also missing some folks, but they have better depth than Atlanta and can replace them a lot better than Atlanta can. Atlanta will be missing Rodrigo De Paul, Ian Frey, Lionel Messi, Santiago Morales, Fafa Pico, Solasco Segovia, and Matteo Silvetti. Not nearly as many of their starters will be missing as Atlanta is going to be missing. So, yeah, I'm not overly confident about this Miami game. But who knows?
And it's an important game. I mean, they have 59 points. Cincinnati has 62. Miami has a game in hand here. They are playing on Saturday. So if they win, they could potentially go into decision day tied with Cincinnati and going for that number 2 seed. And could potentially set up a Orlando-Miami best of 3.
Ooh, that would be pretty spicy. Not gonna lie.
That would be a very fun. They've had some fun games this season already, and when I mean fun, Orlando looking really good against them. So I'm excited. Atlanta has played the spoiler before. Is it very unlikely? Absolutely. Was it very unlikely last year? Sure. But if they can do what they did in LA and continue to play good defense and frustrate these guys, they got a chance here. And that's all you could really see. You could really want for here. Can they sneak out a win? Cool. Can they continue to play well defensively? You get a draw in Miami, you get a 0-0 draw here. It's going to be terrible for watching. Absolutely a terrible game to watch on a Saturday night on the greatest day of all time, October 11th. But it's an opportunity to make another statement here for these players, for Ronnie Dyla. We still don't know what the status of him and his tenure with Atlanta United is going to be here, but I do think yesterday helped him a little bit.
For sure. And kind of using that to bounce off of Patrick Delaney's comment in the chat, overall the defense has been better. I think we can say that with confidence for sure. And like you mentioned earlier, Tommy, this window was all about the defense, right? You went and got 2 new center backs. You went and got a defensive midfielder. It was all about shoring up the defense. And you do see the evidence that defense is improving, right? From holding this LAFC side to 1 goal, being very, very close to a clean sheet against them, which is not easy at all. I think that shows that's credit to some of the work that the team did this offseason, or not this offseason, this summer window, that these players can work, that they are improving the team. Obviously, it's not enough. You have a lot of work that you still have to do to make this team anywhere near competitive. But the fact that the intended fix was, I would say, it's looking like it's a success. I don't want to call it a success, but it is. It looks like you're going in the right direction. I think that is good. And then this offseason, you can focus on some other needs. And you'll probably be able to focus on a lot more because you're going to have several contracts. I think it's like 12, 13 contracts that are expiring at the end of the season. You're going to have a lot of work cut out for you. And I think you're going to be able to focus a little bit more on the attack. You have 2 U22 slots open that you could potentially use to bring in some high energy attackers. I would love to see that. I don't know if we will, but I think that would be a really good use of those spots. New England's new U22 signing, Dor Turgeman, literally scored and assisted against you on his debut. So you can't tell me there's no value in those spots. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of work that you have cut out for you. But I think if you want to take something positive from this game, it's that what Atlanta United tried to address in the summer window, it looks like it has been addressed well, or it's being addressed well.
I agree. And I mean, that's, I guess, going to be the fun part of this coming up this offseason, is trying to think about how they recreate the offense here. How do they find a spark here? Because Latte Loth is going to get some rest, which they've obviously talked about that he's needed. And then Miguel Almiron, it needs a much needed rest here. So can those two get rested? And then what do you do on the left here? You're obviously going to need a MLS starting quality left winger there. Nothing to Luke Brennan, but you need someone else here. And Saba's going to very well likely, Tyler talked about it in the watch along, maybe they buy him out. Or maybe you said it, I don't remember who, but that's potential of a buyout there, or just, being able to sell him somewhere. You gotta be able to figure something out. The puzzle pieces that we've been talking about all year that have not, meshed, they gotta figure out the right pieces here. And for me, it all starts on the left wing.
For sure. And you have 2 buyouts now, so that is even more mechanisms for roster relief there. So certainly, I said it on the watch along that I think probably your 2 top buyout candidates going into 2026 are Tristan Miyamba and Saba, just because both of them are not really contributing to the level that they should. They're being paid quite a bit for what they're doing, which is really not much. So yeah, I think you could move on from them and bring in some folks that are younger, a little bit better, just have a higher ceiling and can make you more competitive overall. So I think, again, this team has the resources. This team has the pull factors. They can absolutely make the most of this offseason and come out a decent playoff team, but it's going to take a lot of work and the right kind of work, because again, it's not about just spending money. It's about being wise and getting players that will legitimately contribute and actually improve this squad.
So, and that's the thing. This offseason it's not the DPs. You're very likely not going to do that, at least in this winter, because you've got so much work to do coming up here. You've got a lot of players. You've got some TAM players that you need to move on from, and then you got to find some role players. You got to find a backup goalkeeper potentially. I think we have our starter. It's not the guy that Chad GPT made up earlier today, but I think we found our guy. Jaden Hibbert, another great performance by him. I had some great stops there. Going into a tough stadium, it seemed very loud there. That's good to see that they were able to the moment doesn't seem too big for Jaden. And I think that's probably the most exciting thing you could say about him. And look, sometimes you gotta trust that. You gotta trust him. Like, if they bring someone to compete with him, that is fine. If they bring someone to be the starter over him, I do find that to be a very huge issue with this front office. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're smart enough to see that Garth has seen this happen for years throughout MLS. Players coming up, being able to get that starting job eventually. I think it's fair. And then you don't have all that money in Brad Guzan that you've been spending. So that now you got that extra money as well to then go and put in other positions as well. Get a little bit more depth in midfield. Continue to get. I mean, you're going to need a backup for Miggy as well. Some depth on the right. Go and get and figure this out. Pedro Amador. What do you do with that guy? I mean, one assist? Has he got one? Does he have one, or is it zero?
I think it's 0 actually.
Who would have ever thought that was going to be at this point of the season that he would be the guy
0
came
assists.
in? That's crazy, absolutely crazy from what we saw last year. I mean, this team has truly been broken this season, and the hard part for Chris and Garth, and I'm very happy for two things. One, Garth's, he's back, he's healthy, because you're going to need him. You're going to need him and Chris to be able to replace. We said this last year, that there was a lot of replacing that you needed to do, and maybe it wasn't all going to happen in that last winter, because there was just too much. You had 2 DP spots that you had to fill, and then you had some other spots as well. So maybe they weren't going to move everyone here. But now you don't have that, because a lot of these players are out of contract. So you need to replace them with physical bodies here. That is going to be rough. I mean, we should be in the rumor mill all winter. As soon as this season ends, we need to start hearing about, some potential players coming in here. It's exciting. It's also scary, because we've seen how some of these winter windows have worked. And I want to hear if there's any rumors about a potential Alexei Miranchuk maybe going. I don't see the other two. It'd be crazy if they loaned Mateloff out.
Be crazy if they transferred Mickey out a year into his return.
That would probably be crazier, honestly.
That would break the fan base. But yeah, if of the 3 of them, I think the most likely one is Alexei. And I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility that a club could offer for him. He did go on a streak of scoring bangers several game weeks back. That certainly can have its value. So who knows? Some team in Saudi Arabia could come in and be our hero in that regard. But yeah, I would take a loss for him, honestly. I wouldn't sweat it. Open up that DP slot, go get you a solid winger, and put Miggy at the 10, where I insist he is the more creative force at the 10. He still has some speed. He can make you fast on the counterattack. I just think it gives you more. And then, yeah, I agree with you. Jaden Hibbert has to be, for me, the number 1 next season. I don't think this club has to look any further for a number 1. And I think potentially what this club could do is dive into the free agency market for a 3rd-string goalkeeper. There are plenty out there that have that, senior minimum salary right now. You just get one of those to kind of be the stopgap just in case something happens, injury or national team or whatever. And then, you let Jaden have that, and it gives you roster flexibility elsewhere. So I think from a economic and a soccer perspective, it makes sense to make Jaden Hibbert the number 1. And then, I am Sebe in the chat saying that I saw about Zendejas linked to Atlanta United, talking about Alejandro Zendejas of Club America. He is, I believe, a left winger, but he has been linked with Atlanta United. I'm not sure about him. 5 goals, 3 assists in 12 games for Club America is not bad. He is 27. Yeah, I mean, it could be all right. I think if you're going for like a TAM level player, that could be good. So we'll see. I'd be interested to see what other rumors spin the rumor mill, but yeah, I would do the league transfer like since he did with the Vander and get Rossi or Rusnak, MLS proven. Rossi to Atlanta United when?
Do not start that again. Doug will lose his damn mind.
Doug's already typing in the chat. It's not happening. Nah. But Rossi's a solid player. I don't know how much of a fit he'd be here, but I mean, maybe if you have Rossi and Miggy in like a dual 10 setup, I'd be interested to see that potentially. We'll see. I don't know. It's too early to dream, but as long as they go and get a solid team, right? If they go get some solid players to fill some of the gaps that are going to be in this roster, uh, if Alexei Miranchuk can be moved and you can liberate that DP slot, man, that would be an absolute, help to this team, and I would definitely like to see that.
Yeah, and if you could bring some players in on TAM to outperform some of our DPs, that would be great. You got to hit on these TAM guys right now, and it's not there. But I'm going to ask you real quick, who was your man of the match yesterday?
Yesterday, probably Jaden Hibbert. He had 3 key saves, and one of them, which still impressive to me, the one-handed save on that shot that was very close. I don't know if it was a header, if it was a shot or whatever it was, but that one-handed save was very, very good. And you don't see that from a lot of 21-year-old goalkeepers. So yeah, it's more arguments in his favor to being the number 1 next season. If you had me choose a second place, and maybe I would say Berrocal, because I thought Juan Berrocal was very good in this game. I thought he was very, very good on defense. Slisher Mihai, very good shouts as well. All of them, played their part for sure. Fun fact, Slish, by goals added, is one of the best midfielders in the league. And goals added, if you're not aware, it's a very, very nerdy metric that basically measures how much a player's actions increase the team's chances of scoring or decrease the chances of conceding. So basically, how much they improve the team's performances. And Slish is actually one of the better midfielders in the league. So he's just a real contributor, and I love his attitude. I love his, absolute hatred for losing. And yeah, hopefully, I really want to see him win a title with this team. I say it again and again, but I really want to see him win a title with this team because he loves this club, and he absolutely deserves to win with that mentality. Pedro Amador is probably the worst performer of this game. And I say that because he shuts off in the 86th minute and again gives LAFC that goal. So and Ronnie Dyla even pointed it out in the post-match presser, by the way, where he says, yeah, that's Pedro's man. And it's not like this is some sneaky player doing sneaky. It's Denny Bouanga. I mean, come on, you got to stay on him. So that's kind of why I single him out.
I want to see what happens with him this offseason. I mean, you could lose both Brooks and Pedro. There were rumors that there was a transfer. There was an offer on the table. I think, wasn't it the rumor there for Pedro?
Like
there
1.2 million. I think it was in like the summer or something like that.
Should have took it.
I don't even know if it was real. Might not have been real. If it was real, I think they would have taken it. For a free transfer, getting 1.2 million, that is solid business. But yeah, I think you definitely, if you have
that value's dead after this season.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're not getting that much for him anywhere. But if you can move him, definitely move him. There are other left backs around the league that you could try to poach from other teams. Several in free agency. I'm currently drafting up an article about potential free agent targets for this winter. So be on the lookout for that over on the website. And yeah, there are several good left backs in there.
So we still have good things to look forward to this season. I don't think we've officially announced it on here, but in a few weeks, the Wednesday after the season, I believe what we're going to be doing is we are going to do our end of season recap, and we're all going to go to a Waffle House, and we are going to be live at a Waffle House. And I'll get it approved by other ones. If anyone else wants to go to a Waffle House and join the stream, you are more than welcome to talk about the season. As long as you have a shirt on, you have shoes. I don't think you're allowed in the Waffle House without shoes. So, and pants, trust me, you can't go into a Waffle House without pants. So we will, if you want to join us in this Waffle House celebration that this season's finally over, and share your hash brown order with us, because mine's going to be terrible and everyone's going to make fun of me. Join us for the season recap, because that's probably that and our Christmas show are probably the two most things I'm looking forward to this off season, and seeing who we're bringing on. It's gonna be a long off season, and we thought we were getting that last year, and we didn't, and we ended up going an extra couple weeks. But this one will be a long off season, and I think we have all learned it. If you stayed at home, if you stayed up late last night to watch that, you've been staying home or you've been going to the stadium all season. The end of season celebration is for you. So come join us.
Yeah, come for the waffle party. But yeah, that is that. Before we do wrap up,
you have to eat one waffle for every game we've won.
What is it, 4 at this point? 5?
Yeah.
I don't even know how many they've won. It's weird. Before we go, though, a couple of kind of breaking news that came out today. Darlington Nagbe is retiring at the end of the season. So the man, the myth, the legend, Darlington Nagbe, MLS Cup winner at Portland Timbers, Atlanta United, and Columbus Crew. For me, one of the best midfielders to grace this league. Yeah, I mean, congratulations to him on an awesome, awesome career. And we'll be looking forward to seeing what he does next. It's crazy to me, though, that Darlington Nagbe is retiring before Brad Guzan. Also, before Atlanta United has found the Nagbe replacement. That is kind of sad. But alas, that. And then, not official, but a rumor that was floated earlier today that LAFC is in talks to bring Tata Martino to be their next head coach after Steve Cherundolo leaves. I am mad if that happens. Tom Bogert says that is a premature rumor, that there are conversations but nothing finalized. But you would have to imagine that it's not going to be too difficult for LAFC to get it done. I mean, if LAFC want him, they'll bring him on.
Yeah.
And if Tata is open to it, he will definitely, sign off. I think the question there is, how much liberty do they give him to make roster decisions? Because he's a guy that really likes to go and get his own players and build his own roster. And so I think, he'll have to sit down with John Dorrington and kind of see how the two of them can work together in that sense. But for me, it's a missed opportunity for Atlanta United. I'm going to be honest. I still don't think Ronnie Dial is the right guy for the job. Even holding LAFC to 1 goal, I don't think that earns you the job. That
shouldn't change anyone's mind
by any means, right? I think if Tata's available and you are still a spoon contender at the end of the day, you should probably be calling him, especially if you're hearing that LAFC is interested in him. I would be calling Tata and telling him, hey, how would you like to come back to Atlanta, right? The city that, loved you, that, this was a project that you built. We brought Miggy back. We have Chris Henderson, who you worked really well with down in Miami. This club is ready to receive you back with open arms. If I'm Atlanta United, I'm dialing the phones and I'm going after him aggressively, because I still think that if Tata had the choice between LAFC and Atlanta, I think he would choose Atlanta.
Don't disagree. But you got to make that. You got to, and that's the thing we've talked about. They need to make the decision quick here. Other teams are going to be calling. And if you wait until the end of the year, it just seems silly at this point. But they did. I mean, he's not getting fired after the Miami game. He's not. If it is, it's going to happen at the end of the year. They're not going to cut him loose. It makes no sense to do it today, tomorrow. It's just at the end of the DC game. We'll find out that probably that Monday or Tuesday if there's a change or not. And then you go from there. But like I said, I mean, other teams are already on the hunt looking for a manager, and that'll be an interesting week to see if anything happens. But again, I can't say this enough as we get towards the end of the season. Thank you for hanging out with us all season. It's been a long one, and hopefully there's some big changes coming here with this team. And yeah, should we hit the outro music? I know how to do it now.
Let's do it then. See you guys.
Where we had us. See, now this is what we should have been doing the entire time. Henry and I accidentally discovered that this putting us at the bottom here. And when we're talking and we're saying stupid things, especially I'm like usually the one in charge of saying dumb things here, you could see me saying these dumb things. This is unlocked a whole new world for us. What else?
For sure.
What else can this do? Look, and we're on the side now.
Oh, whoa.
And now
we're big.
Well,
right then.
Well.
Hit the credits.
And then we're on the left. And then that's our co-host over there. This is why they do not leave the kids alone.
Oh, yeah, this is why we never touch this stuff.
No, but you made a fantastic thumbnail.
Thank you.
You ended up beating ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You knew who Miguel. Dude, we should put. I got an idea. For.
Are you gonna make ChatGPT do Miggy?
Yeah, we'll wait for the off season. We got Miami this week. Come back on Wednesday. Hang out with us on Wednesday. We'll talk about the Miami match. Then come back Thursday. I'll be on Battered Herons trying to go for the three in a row. Worst guest.
The three-peat?
Three-peat, yeah. We got to go for that. And then we'll talk to you on Saturday.
All right. Well,
have a good night, all.
See